Welcome once again, second years, in the explanation of the blocked format. As I explained you in the previous classes, some sentences on how the letter to be start and what are the key points, what are the things to be remembered while writing a letter and all those. Now we are going to read about the block format. We are going to get the explanation. Blocked format and especially in the formal letters. First we will go for the formal letters, then we will move on to the informal letters. Now in the formal letters, in the blocked format actually everything would be written in the left margin. When you open your page, at the left margin you have to start writing everything. Forget about the traditional method of writing. One thing that side, one thing this side. No, it has to be like written at all the left side corner. And no punctuations. That means no punctuation marks, commas, full stops. Nothing would be there. Like previously we used to write down dear sir, comma, dear madam, comma, like that, respected madam and all. So instead of that, now we don't have any type of the punctuation except in the body of letter. Okay, except in body of letter, otherwise you are not supposed to put any type of the commas. Now here, this is we have a separate part for that. This is the blocked format, rules of the blocked format. That means all the things should be on the left side margin and the next is no punctuation marks except in the body of the letter. Now what could be the first thing in writing the letter? The first thing could be the address. Address of whom? The one who is sender, from. Like in normal common words we use it as from. The address of the person who is writing the letter, who is sending the letter. Name, designation, company or institution, the person where working, town, city, mobile number, email of the person who is writing the letter to the other one. Okay, so this is actually sender's address, that is from address. Next is date, and this is international standard that you have to write down this type of the date. This is an example I have given, but that means what we are writing? The name of the complete name of the month. Previously we used to write down like only 3 letters or starting 3 letters like Jan, Feb, March, April. But now they wanted you to write down the complete name of the month you are writing in the letter into that. Okay, the date as well as the complete name. Now first is address of the person who is writing the letter. Then next is the date. The third is the letter address of the one who is going to receive the letter. That means the recipient. The person who is receiving the letter, that is the address. We have to write down here address. Again the same format, 90% same format we have. Name, designation, company or institution to which they belong, the person to whom you are writing. Maybe you are writing to the editor of Deccan Chronicle or something. So you have to write down name, whatever this, that, and then designation, then company, institution, like that. Locality, town, city, state or country if required. Okay, to the person to whom you are writing the letter. Recipient means the one who will receive the letter. Now next, first is address, sender's address, then date, then recipient's address. Now next is you have salutation. How to salute or how to actually write down the name of how to address the person. So now previously, in previous formats, or you can say in traditional formats, it is being given as respected sir, respected madam. But nowadays, according to the writers and all, they believe that when you are saying sir and madam, itself the words itself include the respect. Sir itself include the respect. You cannot say sir to your friends, right? Even to your father, to anybody, to your mother, you never say madam. You say madam out of respect to the other persons. In the same way, this is not formal, this is not informal, this is totally formal way. Dear sir, dear madam, no commas, dear Dr. Smith, just a random name I checked out. Dear Professor Manohar, here itself you are writing the professor, means you are giving the respect to the person. Dear Mr. President of so and so club or of so and so organization, anything. So for that you have to write down like this, because you are not aware of the name of the person, then you have to refer to like this, Mr., then the designation of the person. Mr. Manager, dear Mr. Like chairman, something like you don't know that whatever the name of the person. So at that time you have to add Mr. and then write down the designation of the person. Now when we write down Mr., it is actually meant we are writing for a man, any man, okay, of any age, especially for the adults we write down Mr. Next is Mrs., MRS, for a married woman. If we are referring to a married woman, if we are writing to a married woman, so we can go for writing Mrs. Miss, MISS, for an unmarried woman. Then next MS only, Miss, for a female whose marital status you don't know. Marital status, that means you don't know whether she is married or unmarried, and you don't want to like take the risk of writing anything, because as a guess you cannot write down. So for that, when you are not aware, you have to write down M and small s, okay. That is another way of addressing the woman, especially when you don't know the married status, or you can say the marital status, okay. So address, date, recipient's address, then salutation. In salutation I have given you these many, so you can get an idea that how to write it down and how to address the people, how to salute them, okay. Next is subject line, because I am actually showing it to you the formal letter format, formal letter in blocked format. In that, when you are writing a subject line means after writing the salutation and the body of the letter, in between you have to write down a separate line known as the subject line. And this subject line actually gives an idea to the person, to the recipient, that what actually the title of this letter means, what is the thing being written in the particular letter. Like, and these should be in 3 to 4 words, or it should be, or no, it is actually, it should be in capital letters, that means in caps. 3 to 4 words max, you can go for 3 to 4 or 5 words, not more than that. So the person who is reading can get an immediate idea that what is the matter of the letter. Like example, short term spoken English course, and when you have written in the caps, obviously it will attract the attention of the person or the reader. So immediately they can read it out. What is the subject matter? Short term spoken English course. That means you are showing that about this particular thing I have written the letter, the body of the letter include these things, okay. So this to be taken care of. Next is the body of the letter. Body of the letter is the most important part, where you have to express yourself in a proper way, in a better way. Like 2 to 3 paras, you can make separate paras for that. So and write down in plain English with clear points. Like, don't exaggerate the matter, don't just beat around the bush. Like, actually the matter is something, but you are writing something else. So this could not be done, especially in the formal letters. You have to write down for 2 to 3 paras, then plain English, simple English. Don't use the idioms, phrases, all those things in the letter, and some difficult type of the sentences, 2-3 synonyms. There is no need to show your extra knowledge into that. Okay, so clear points and plain English is a must for writing the body of the letter, and in this body of the letter you can use the commas, punctuation, all the punctuation marks if there is a need, especially commas and full stops, because what we have written, no punctuation marks except in body of letter. That means in this particular area you can use the punctuation marks. Okay, next is the complementary clause. When you end the letter, at the end of the letter, whatever your matter, what the body of the letter, what you have written should be there. Then and the last lines of the matter, the body of the letter, what you have to write down is that what the action you are expecting and what the reaction you need, what is the response you need, that to be mentioned. I am expecting you to take immediate action onto that. If suppose there is a complaint, if you are this, because this is a formal letter, I expecting you to release that, release my TC soon. Whatever it is there, that you have to write down in the last para compulsorily in the body of the letter. Okay, last para or last line as you wish. Next is the complementary clause. When you are writing this complementary clause, I have specifically taken only formal letters complementary clause. So please check it out, this one. Yours sincerely, yours truly or faithfully, either both you can take, yours truly or yours faithfully. The next is yours obediently. In these, one thing to be always keep in mind, it should be like drilled into your mind that you should never use apostrophe S, no comma on the S, that is apostrophe, because this is the personal pronoun, yours. We are not relating to the other person, we are not saying that yours purse, not relating to that. Okay, it should be written like this without apostrophe comma. So here I will write down for you, no use of apostrophe. Okay, remember this to be clearly written in your grammar notes and clearly drilled into your mind as well, because if you put a small apostrophe over here, it will totally, like you can say, dismantle your or destruct your impression on the examiner. Because if you have followed all those things and the last moment you have done this such a silly mistake, then it shows the person that still you need to learn, still you are not getting the main things in your mind. Okay, now next is the signature block. I know this is one of the most lovable part of the students, because they love to do the signatures. But remember one thing, that when you do the signature, your signature should be legible. That means it can be read out. What is the name you have written? Some people have a habit of giving some fancy type of signatures, like circles in between some things, something like that they write it down. So those type of signatures, when the people do in any of the letters, they have to write down their own name in the block letters below the signature. Block letters like this, in caps. In block letters they have to write down the name below the signature. After doing some whatever the illegible signature, they can write down their own name in the block letters. So the other person can understand that, okay, this is the one who has written the letter to me. Maybe you are writing your address and all, but don't know whether you have written or not. So there is a need to write down your name in block letters below the signature. And if the letter is related to the business, it is business letter, so you have to write down the designation or the position of the one who is writing the letter. Like suppose a secretary has written the letter. So after doing the signature, then writing the name in the block letter, the secretary has to write down below the signature that it is secretary, not it is only secretary. So the person can get an idea, okay, this is the designation or the position of the person who is writing the letter. So these are the things. When you follow all those, then definitely you can do better and you will definitely get all the marks whatever it is needed. Okay, what we have learned today, we will get a quick revision for this. Blocked format in a formal way, it should be from the left margin totally and no punctuation except in the body of the letter. We have actually discussed all the 8 points. From address or from, then date, to address, salutation. The varieties of salutation I have given it to you, you can check it out. Then next we have gone for the subject line if there is a need, then body of the letter, complimentary clause, and then last is the signature block. I hope everybody has understood what the full format of the blocked format of the formal letter. In the next class we will go ahead with the blocked format of informal letter. Okay, so by the time, write it down in the grammar notes. Try to write down the letters related to the formal side and get the practice done. In the next class again we will meet with the informal letters. Okay, take care.